Second podcast of the week. And this one I'm touching on King Tug, Nayem Bayar versus Gary Russell Jr., which is a huge, which to me is one of those fights that isn't, I mean, it's not huge. No one's talking about it. If you're not a boxing fan, and even if you're really, like, if you're a boxing fan, like you're a casual boxing fan, you don't know anything about this fight. But this is one of those fights, it's just like, the skill level so high, and none of these guys have a big name. They're smaller. Um, they're one guy's from a different country. Gary Russell Jr. is his career's kind of not taken off the way he thought it would. A loss Lomachenko really kind of hurt it, but he is such an excellent fighter, very talented. The speed is there, the skill is there, and King Tug is he's a technically proficient, hard hitting fighter. And doesn't lack really speed either. It's just like Gary Russell Jr. says, it's going to be high speed chess, and that's really what I think it is. I wanted to give a little breakdown. This fight deserves it on what might happen, how it might play out. From what I did a little bit of scouting of it, and from what I'm seeing is Gary Russell Jr. and I've seen him fight a few times, and I've been following his career, and he is a very good fighter, very fast. When people are, I mean, they do this a lot lazily. Like, people will be lazy and they'll compare, like, black fighters who are fast to Floyd Mayweather, right? And I can understand the people, that'd be an easy comparison to make for Gary Russell Jr. just if you're lazy. But he doesn't really fight like Floyd, because Floyd works a lot off of his defense, and Gary Russell Jr.'s offense isn't off of his defense. Gary Russell Jr.'s offense is off his speed, and he kind of when he goes offense, it kind of just disregards defense, because he uses all his speed and all his combinations. He's not thinking of defense; he's just thinking offense when he's going offense. Then his defense, it's pretty good. It's a solid defense, but it doesn't. He rarely works his defense off of his offense. It's like he commits his offense and it just leaves openings there. But he's so fast, if you take that chance, he's catching with multiple shots. It's his style. It's the one that really brought out this flaw, though, was Lomachenko, who's, I mean, going to bring out a lot of flaws in your game. He's the best in the world, but he didn't. But it was a very competitive fight with Lomachenko. He lost, but that was a very good fight, and it just showed that he is a highly skilled fighter himself, because it's probably one of Lomachenko's tougher fights. So this guy's a very skilled. This is a high-level fighter, right? And his speed is so good, but it's so good to get him. It could get him in trouble, and that's what King Tug's going to have to rely on. King Tug's going to have to jump in, and when Gary Russell is firing, and he could fire multiple shots at a few seconds, he's going to have to fire in between them, because that's where the openings will be. And if he's looking for openings, that's where he's going to find them. Another opening that King Tug can find is to the body. When Jojo Diaz fought Gary Russell Jr., his defense, when he is on a defensive mode, he will allow openings to the body, and you can work his body. A lot of times, Gary Russell Jr., when he sets up defense, he kind of stays in one spot unless you hit off his arms, because he's always looking to respond. But when he does that, there is openings to the body, and I think that King Tug can get to the body. King Tug being southpaw, comes in with a heavy left hand. I just want to confirm that King Tug is a southpaw, because if not, then I don't want to give you the wrong information. So let's confirm this real quick. Boxing. No, he is a right-hander. Gary Russell Jr. is a southpaw. Man, I wish I didn't do this right here. Russell Jr. is... Let me see here. Yes, Gary Russell Jr. is a southpaw. So Gary Russell Jr., his lead left hook is his main shot. Gary Russell Jr. has a lead left hook that he leads with. That's his main shot. He likes it, boom, put it on you. And with King Tug, his flaw defensively is that he's somewhat similar, but he when you're comboing off of him, he doesn't punch. He kind of backs away from the action, and he can't fight going backwards. Okay, so if you push him backwards, he kind of his defense is, let me step out of here, reset, and then move forward again. So the thing with I see what Gary Russell Jr.'s advantage will be is he's probably going to steal a lot of rounds, because he likes to work. When he works him fast and flashy, King Tug is not really going to respond, so he's going to flurry off combinations, whether they're even up on their arms or anything. He'll catch them. Also, the one thing I noticed at King Tug was that he did have a problem with a little bit of speed and a southpaw when he fought Moreno last time. And Moreno, who is a very slick, very smart fighter, different counterpuncher than Gary Russell, but the shots that he landed, or shots that Gary Russell can land, because Gary Russell is very good with the lead left hand. and likes to work off a left hook and think Tug likes to lead with a straight right. His straight right's his thing, but he's gonna have to lead that in to get Gary Russell to put his hands up to hit him to the body. He's gonna have to try to, you know, make his shots really count and hopefully to try to wear down Gary Russell Jr. Jojo Diaz had a chance actually against Gary Russell Jr. but lost confidence in the fight, and Gary Russell could do that to you because he's so fast and he flurries on you. Those combinations start adding up points, and it starts really feeling daunting at that point. So this could be a very high level fight, very smart fight, very smart fighters, both of them. And I think the speed's of course in Gary Russell's favor, but it could be a lot closer than what we're thinking. And it's gonna be whoever's gonna add the different. It's gonna add one more thing to his game that we're not really seeing yet, because these are kind of like two guys where they could benefit off the other guy's habits, but it's off of things that don't really do. King Tug is going to be punching in between someone else's punches, which is not a thing he does. He likes to get his offense going when he chooses. But if a guy swings at him, he will usually step back, or he'll let the guy flurry on his arms. That's kind of his defense. But I think for this fight, he would have to punch in between Gary Russell, and Gary Russell is going to have to look to counter off of King Tug's shots when he's jumping in, when he's moving in. It's going to be a very good fight, very interesting fight, very good, very talented fight. And it's just one of those fights that's not really appreciated in boxing. It won't get the viewership that it should, but might go down as one of the better high skilled fights of the year. So it's definitely one to check out. I did do the John Jones one. I did want to do one fight in the undercard, Shevchenko versus Chookagian. And I think I'm saying her name right. I'm not 100% sure. Valentina Shevchenko is one of the best MMA fighters in the world, not just women, men and women. She's one of the best. She's one of the most skilled. At that weight, I think she's unbeatable right now. I do not see someone that can beat her at that weight. And I go still saying now, obviously I'm picking her for this fight, and how I pick her to win this fight. I think technically stand-up wise she is better than Chookigan, but Chookigan could maybe draw this fight out a little bit because she does like to move. She throws a lot of kicks that allow her to create distance when she does move. And Shevchenko might have to chase her a little bit. But the one huge advantage I think Shevchenko, I hope I'm saying this correctly, is she has a really very good ground game. And if she gets you down on the ground, she can really control you and put a lot of punishment on you. And when I seen Chookagian fight, her ground game is it needs a lot, especially off of her back. It needs a lot of work, and she can be controlled. And she is very long in her. She don't have complete control of her limbs on the bottom. She's not very compact. She's a little she's just a little bit she's just loose almost with her. I would explain it. She's a little loose over her. It's not tight, compact. It's not able to usually like explode to get one limb off you to pop up to work your way out. She kind of has to. It's a flaw in her game for sure. And her stand up, well, it's good for the. I mean, it's good. It's not. I'm not saying it's bad or anything, but she doesn't sit on her punches or her strikes. Her strikes kind of flare out there too as well because of her style. She's constantly moving, but her leg movement isn't exactly under her legs for that style to develop a lot of power and to be extremely effective. I just think that as she flurries more, Shevchenko will gain ground on her, and if they flurry in the mid-side, Shevchenko's punches are going to get there first. Her kicks will be crisper, and I just don't think that style's a little bit primitive to what Shevchenko's skill level. But I think Shevchenko is going to get a takedown at one point, work her way in, take her down, and that's where it will be the beginning of the end because of just the control that she's going to have on top. And I don't think Chookagian is going to be able to work her way back up on this fight. Now, Chookagian, if she is going to have the fight was to go in her direction, it would have to be her moving and Valentina walking into kicks and punches and her flurrying and then choosing getting outside of the angle, getting around her, constant movement. Something similar to Holly Holm style against Ronda Rousey. Kicks, long distance kicks, making Shevchenko defend from far away and not allowing her to move in, and really testing Shevchenko's foot speed on getting in and cutting off the ring. Chookigan, just because of her skill level right now, I think we have to fight almost a perfect fight to win this, and that still might not be enough. I'll take Shevchenko to win that, and I will take Gary Russell to win a decision versus King Tug. But like I said, that boxing fight is an excellent fight. Should be watched. Shevchenko, hopefully there is a competition coming for her soon because she is dominating, and I wouldn't mind seeing maybe a Amanda Nunes rematch in a catchweight if they could somehow Amanda Nunes could get to down a little bit more from one. I believe she's 145. She could get down a little bit more and get down to meet Shevchenko, which would be an excellent fight. I believe they already fought twice, and I think that right now Shevchenko is so good that she could actually challenge Amanda Nunes that they fought right now. Who Amanda Nunes is probably, has her claim as the best woman fighter in the world. Shevchenko is not too far behind her right now, so hopefully that sets up this fight coming forward. But who knows? Maybe Chookigan fights that style and moves and just create a problem, and maybe Shevchenko just is not ready to deal with that kind of movement and angles that maybe Chookigan can offer. But we're gonna find out. This has been the weigh-in. Thank you for listening.